Here, let's welcome Shidorty Pasil from 4th year Archimedes, and he is going to discuss about some ways in finding the derivative.
So first, what is the meaning of derivative? Derivative is the instantaneous change of one quantity relative to another. So here I will discuss these three rules on finding the derivative of a function. First is constant rule. It states that dy over dx is equal to d over dx, quantity t is equal to 0. It sounds and looks complicated, but its meaning is all constants should be equal to 0. For example, pi and 1. It is equal to 0 because it's a constant number. Next is power rule. It states that nx raised to n minus 1. You will multiply the exponent to the base and then deduct 1 from the exponent. For example, y is equal to x 4 x to the 4. Its derivative is equal to this, or x 3, because you multiply this to 1 and deduct 1 from the exponent. Next is the reciprocal rule. You can only use it when there's 1 on the numerator and then the variables on the denominator. It states that dv is equal to b squared. dv stands for the derivative of the denominator, and b squared is square root of the denominator. So I will give an example. Y equal to 2x cubed plus 3x squared plus 1. So by applying the formula, you put negative. And on the power rule, it says that you should multiply this at the top 1. So it should be 6x squared. Then here you do the same. Plus 6x. Then you should cancel it because it's a constant. Then on the denominator side, you should just copy it and put square. Then that's the derivative of the function.
So, let's give a hand of applause for Shidorty Pasil of 4th year.
From 4 Archimedes, and he will discuss about the general power rule.
Okay. First of all, I will say hello. Hello. Then I will give some examples first for us to start. So, Berto, suggest any number for the numerical coefficient.
5.
Berto said 5, so let's choose 5. Then I will put my favorite number inside the parentheses. 14. That's x raised to 3 plus 14 x raised to 2 that's 14 x plus 14. Oh, I love 14. Yes. Then what is the exponent? Can someone?
10.
Oh my, 10. Oh, Berto said 10. Oh, we will use general power rule in finding the derivative. So first, this is what? To get the first derivative, we should multiply the numerical coefficient with the exponent. We will put 50. So 5 times 10 is obviously 50. You don't have to think about that. Easy. Then you just copy the value inside the parentheses. It's 14x cubed plus 14x squared plus 14x plus 14. Then 10 minus 1, going on to apply the power rule, 9. Is it finished? No, it's not. We're going to find the other part of this. How to get the other? You get the derivative of the value inside the parentheses. You disregard this, the exponent, and the underlying coefficient of the value. So, what is the derivative of 14x squared? We're going to apply the power rule. Any answers?
So hard.
Oh, it's so hard. Where to say so hard? How to find it? 14 multiplied by 3. 14 divided by 2, 28. 28, 35, 42. 42 x squared plus 28x plus 14. This is constant. That's why it's 0. Answer B. That is the first derivative. Then I want to put 3 on this one. I will get the second derivative. Oh, the second derivative, we're going to use the general power rule once again. So here, 5 multiplied by 50. Oh, it's too big, but it's so easy. 450. Just multiply 5 and 9 and add 0 on the... Then just copy again. Just copy and copy and copy. 14x cubed plus 14x squared plus 14x plus 14. There. And 9 minus 1 is 8. There. Okay. There, it's 8. Then we do again to find the other value of this. There, you can just copy the head of this. 42x squared plus 28x plus 14. But since it is the second derivative, we should find the derivative of this because it is another value separate to this. So to find this, just apply 42. The power rule, 42 multiplied by 2 is 84x plus 28. But because this is constant, this will equal. That's all. Thank you. Here we have Sanjan Sigambawa, and he's going to discuss about the properties of limits.
So I will discuss about the properties of limits. Let us use this statement as our basis. Let A and B be real numbers, and let N be a positive integer. So, in the properties of limits, we have 4. So I will give them. The first property, limit of B as x approaches A is equal to B. Second property, limit of x as x approaches A is equal to A. Third property, limit of x raised to n as x approaches A is equal to A raised to n. Fourth property, limit of the square root of x raised to n as x approaches A is equal to what? Square root of A raised to n. So now, we have our 4 properties. Now I will give some examples. For our first example, for our first property, let us give limit of x squared as x approaches 2, it will be equal to 2 squared. We will only substitute 2 to x. So our answer will be simply 4. For our second property, let us give limit of 2x minus 1 as x approaches 0. It will be equal to 2 multiplied by 0 minus 1. So what will be our answer? Yes.
Negative 1.
So, negative 1. We'll give another example. This is for our third property. Let us give limit of negative x squared plus x minus 2 as x approaches 2 will be equal to negative 2 raised to 2 because of our negative here, so it will be negative here plus 2 minus 2. So our answer will be simply negative 4. Why negative 4? 2 negative 2 squared will be 4 plus 2 negative 2 squared will be negative 4, right?
Yes.
Then plus 2
It's negative 2.
minus 2,
It's negative 4.
so we get 4. For the last property, our last property, let us give limit of square root of x plus 1 as x approaches 3 will be equal to square root of 3 plus 1. It will be equal to square root of 4. What's the square root of 4? It is 2. That is our answer. That is all for the properties of limits. This is Roberto Gamboa IV from 4th year Archimedes, who will explain about the power rule, reciprocal rule, and FOIL method usage.
First, I'll discuss about the power rule. So this is the equation. X raised to n is equal to n times x raised to n minus 1. So I have an example. 3x squared plus 2x. So we'll multiply the exponent to the coefficient. So 2 times 3 is 6. X, 2 minus 1 is 1, plus 2 times 1 minus 1 is 0. So we can cancel x. So it's 2. 6x plus 2 is the derivative. So the next one is the reciprocal rule. So the equation is negative derivative of denominator over denominator squared. So it's like this. I have an example. X to the 4th plus 5. So first, you will get the denominator's derivative. So 4 times x is 4x. 4 minus 1 is 3 plus 0. So let's just cancel it. So this is the numerator. So we'll just copy the denominator and square it. So x raised to 4 plus 5 quantity squared. So this is the derivative. So another addition to the reciprocal rule is it may only be used when the numerator is 1 or if the given is rational. The last one is the FOIL method usage. I have an example. X cubed plus 2 multiplied to the quantity x plus 5. X cubed times x is equal to x to the 4th. 2 times x is equal to 2x. X cubed times 5 is 5x cubed. And 2 times 5 is equal to 10. And then we'll proceed to the power rule. So it's 4x cubed plus 2x. No, it must be cancelled because 1 minus 1 is 0. So it's only 2 plus 5x squared. And this is the final answer. Thank you. Thank you.